Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
Hi, let's come back for the multiple choice session. And as mentioned in the previous video, in the learning video, there are a few tricks that we need to take note for maximum price questions. Okay, the first one is effective versus ineffective maximum price. A short recap. When we talk about maximum price, it is the highest price that firms can legally charge. And therefore, the highest price that firms can charge should be placed below the market equilibrium, because if you leave it to market equilibrium, the price could be too high. Now, if you look at this question, the question says government imposes a maximum price of P2 on rice. And they ask you what can be concluded after this action. Now, each time when you are doing maximum price or minimum price question, the first thing you need to do is to check if the maximum price is effective or not. So guys, if you recall, the maximum price should be placed below, but this maximum price is above equilibrium. Therefore, a conclusion is when the maximum price is above market equilibrium, this is basically ineffective. You are not helping. The market equilibrium already set the price high enough, and you are setting an even higher maximum price. So therefore, basically this maximum price is ineffective. When it is ineffective, meaning to say everything will fall back to price mechanism. Everything will fall back to price mechanism. Therefore, so guys, we have our basic understanding. Let's look at the answer. A shortage in the market of Q2, Q3? No, because shortage only happen when your maximum price is effective. An oversupply in the market by Q2, Q3. Again, when the maximum price is not effective, basically they won't result into any side effect or consequences. And C, an equilibrium price with P1 and Q1. So P1, Q1. C is correct because look at this point. Everything will fall back to price mechanism. So when the price control is no longer effective, price mechanism will be taking charge. And therefore, the market will go back to equilibrium. And equilibrium is reached here with P1 being your equilibrium price and Q1 being your equilibrium quantity. Okay? So that's how it works. And if you look at D, an equilibrium with P2 and quantity between Q2 and Q3, no way, guys. When equilibrium is reached, you will have only one quantity. It's not a range of quantity, right? So moving on, let's look at the second trick. Okay, the second trick is another common question. They ask you who will benefit and who will lose from the setting of maximum price. So we look at the question. If you need longer time to consider, you can just pause the video. Yeah. The diagram shows the demand and supply curve of a good. The government sets a maximum price. Okay, now check if the maximum price is effective or not. This is below. Okay, yes, effective. And guys, if it is effective, as mentioned, each time when you do any multiple choice question, label everything that you know. Okay, so L1. Okay, when it touches your supply curve, this is your QS. When it touches your demand curve, this is your QD. Okay, this part indicates shortage, all right? And they ask you, how will this affect, okay? So, effect on producers. Now, all producers will lose because all of them are forced to sell their goods and services at the maximum price set, leading to lowering profit, okay? So therefore, all producer will lose, suppose. And based on this question, by right, when you see C is the answer, then like you have no other choice. But let's explain. Why some consumers will gain and why some consumer will lose is simply because those who manage to buy the goods at the maximum price set will gain, okay? Because when maximum price is set, only this amount is being supplied. So those consumers that can buy up to this amount at the maximum price L set, they will gain. But the rest, those who didn't afford to get the goods, those who are facing shortage, they will lose. So this is how, and this is why the answer is C, okay? That is the second common trait for maximum price. And let's look at the last trait. Okay, the last trait will involve maximum price and consumer surplus. So now, let's look at what is meant by consumer surplus. Let's revise a little bit. Okay, consumer surplus, each time when you look at consumer surplus, okay, you need to place all the knowledge that you have in consumer surplus. By definition, consumer surplus is the difference between what consumers are willing to pay, the highest price they are willing to pay, and what they are actually paying. Okay, and consumer surplus, we also call it the net benefits of consumer, enjoyed by consumer. And lastly, consumer surplus is the area, okay, below demand curve. Demand curve indicate what they are willing to pay, and above market price. Market price is showing what they are actually paying. So now guys, when you see this maximum price is effective, again, label, yeah, at this maximum price, okay, when it touches a supply curve, this is your QS. When it touches a demand curve, this is your QD. A lot of students will make a very careless mistake thinking that, oh, since QD is here, price is here, so if you base on the area below demand curve, above market price, they will label the entire Dutch triangle to be the area of consumer surplus. And this is wrong, okay? Although you fulfill this context, although it seems like it is the difference between what they are willing to pay and what they are actually paying, but the net benefit context is not satisfied here, okay? Net benefit meaning to say, after you assume that is your total benefit gain minus the payment you made and the remaining is your net. Now, when maximum price is fixed, only this amount is consumed, although this much is being demanded. So I repeat, yeah, only this amount of demand is being satisfied by supply because supplier is only willing to supply this much. Therefore, you need to understand when only this group of consumer, they manage to satisfy their wants. And if you didn't manage to buy the goods and services, you didn't even enjoy any benefit. Let's don't talk about net benefit then. Therefore, you need to find out who will be able to buy. So only QS of people will be able to buy. And now we base on QS, we look at, okay, what they are willing to pay, what they are actually paying. Okay, and before that, the first consumer who managed to get the goods, right? What they are willing to pay, what they are actually paying after maximum price is set. Second consumer, what they are willing to pay, what they are actually paying. Third consumer, what they are willing to pay, what they are actually paying. What they are willing, what they are actually, what they are willing, what they are actually. So now, it makes more sense that you find out the area below demand curve and above market price. So up to QS, the area below demand curve and above market price is this much. So therefore, the consumer surplus after an effective maximum price is set is shown by the area A plus B plus donkey. So the answer is C. Okay. That's all for some simple tricks that I would like to share with you under the topic of maximum price. I'll see you again in the next unit for some other topic discussion. Bye-bye. Thank you.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with one or two past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.